A bird with a bright red head started a noisy chatter. Granite sniffed the air and caught the scent of spruce squirrel and moose. He rolled in the grass and stretched his legs. Digger ran at Granite and put his forepaws over his brother's neck. With a growl, he stood on his hind legs and pushed, trying to throw Granite to the ground. Granite growled Granite growled back to show that Digger was not the boss. The growl didn't stop Digger. He fastened his sharp milk teeth into his brother's back. Granite yelped with pain and shook him off. The pups tumbled over and over, but neither was able to grab the other. Finally, Granite wiggled free and stood up. He put his paws on Digger's neck, pushed him flat, and gave him a sharp bite. Digger yelped and rolled over on his back. Granite yipped in satisfaction. Digger could make Nugget and Cricket roll over and whimper. But Granite never gave in. He fought back every time. Disgusted, Digger got up and shook himself. He ran over to where Nugget, the runt of the litter, was sunning himself on the grass. As soon as Digger growled and nipped his neck, Nugget rolled onto his back. Digger then marched off with his tail in the air. Kate knelt beside Granite, who was watching his brothers. He held up his head to be stroked. But instead of fondling the little dog, she pulled a harness over his head. Granite fought hard and nipped at her fingers, but it was no use. She placed the straps across his back, buckled them around his belly, and snapped on a lead. Then she put him down and stepped back a few paces. "Come, Granite," she called. "Come." Granite wasn't sure what he was supposed to do. He took a step forward and stopped. Something was dragging behind him. The lead was fastened to a flake of hay. He bit on the lead, trying to chew it in two. Kate stopped him. "No," she shouted. "Come." She made encouraging sounds. Granite took a step. "Good boy," she said. It was the kind of sound she made when she was pleased. Granite looked at her. He decided that if he went to her, she might pet him and take off the bulky gear. He took another step, even though he didn't like the tug of the strap across his chest. As he walked toward Kate, the hunk of hay bumped across the ground. When Granite reached her, she said, "Good boy," again, and scratched him under the chin. That felt good. Then she gave him a bite of meat. That tasted even better. Kate stepped back. "Come, Granite." This time the pup trotted over fast. "Good boy," she said, and gave him another scratch and another morsel of meat. Granite wagged his tail. He was ready to run to Kate as long as she fed him, at least until he was full. But before Granite had all the meat he wanted, Kate unhitched him and put the harness on Digger. The big pup squirmed so hard that she had trouble guiding the strap into the buckle. One after another, Digger, Cricket, and Nugget bounced across the grass, their tails held high in the air, their necks arched proudly. They strutted like lead dogs. They would have pulled hay all day without a single bite of meat. Granite looked on in silence. He would work only as long as he was hungry. After the lesson, Kate carried the pups back to the pen. They ran to Seppala. She was not waiting at the fence, but lay inside the big box, stretched out on her side. She didn't even raise her head to greet her eager children. Granite sniffed at his mother's mouth and nuzzled her neck. She whined, but did not lick his nose as she always did. On this day, there were no welcoming caresses. Something was wrong. Fear flowed through Granite, but he did not know why. Kate noticed that Seppala was acting strange. She made concerned sounds and knelt at Seppala's side. With gentle fingers, Kate pressed the dog's neck. Then she ran her hand along the dog's belly. She looked into her eyes and mouth. Kate shook her head. Seppala was sick. The puppies were so upset by their mother's stillness that they forgot to fight. They huddled against the wall and whimpered. Kate called out. Tim came over from another pen, holding a pitchfork. Look, it's Seppala, said Kate. I don't know what's wrong, but she's too ill to be nursing puppies. They'll drain her strength. Tim shook his head. You've got to think about the pups, too, he said. They might pick up whatever Seppala has. The sounds they made were so unhappy that even Granite could tell they were worried. We'd better take the pups into the house where we can care for them, said Kate. Guess so, said Tim. He sighed and put down his pitchfork. He squatted beside the pups and picked up Nugget, then Digger. He walked toward the house, carrying one in each hand. Kate made soothing sounds and rubbed Seppala's head. The dog whined softly. Kate tucked Granite in one arm and Cricket in the other. It's okay, guys, she said. You'll be fine, and so will your mom. The sounds were cheerful, but Granite could tell she was not happy. As she carried the pups off, Granite looked back over Kate's shoulder at his mother. Too sick to object, she did not move.